All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. I'm here. I'm not by myself this week because I'm here with Brooke Wrobel. I said that
Hi.
right.
Yeah.
Brooke is one of our hair pros at Hello Hair, and I've been actually wanting to have you on for a bit, and I usually wait till the last minute, and then I'm like, I'm not going to reach out to anybody right now. But either way, here we are.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been at Hello?
I hit a year in January.
Okay, I was like, I know it's just over a year. Cool, that's awesome. So, let's kind of just go through and tell your story. So, how did you get into the hair industry?
I feel like it started like my senior year, and I was full on like my brothers were in college, and I was like I don't want to do that. I'm not a college girl. I'm a mama's girl. Like I want to stay close to home.
Okay.
And I feel like it just kind of clicked while I was literally writing my college essay because I was like I have no clue what I'm writing about. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, like makeup, hair, like that's my thing. And so immediately I stopped writing because I was going to apply to whatever school. And I was like, okay, I'm going to look into like hair schools
Cool.
because it was literally like last minute, just like how it was last minute for this. But like,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, like this will work. Like I can do it. And it took like some explaining to do. Like, do I actually want to do this? And like, all the family around me kind of being like, do you want to do this? And like I knew it was going to be harder, I don't know, like actually grow into it. And like I did realize I liked doing it because I've been doing my makeup and my hair since like seventh grade, probably.
Okay. So you got into it pretty young. So
Yeah.
where did you go to school again?
For hair,
Yeah.
Empire.
Empire in Hookset,
Yep.
Hampshire, right? Cool. And how did you choose them? I mean, they're the only ones now, but there were a handful, right? When you went?
Yeah. I feel like it was more like the social media presence
Okay.
because I
That's cool.
definitely I stalk a lot. So like that was the first one that popped up when I searched it.
All right. And what was that process like?
I feel
Like
like
the like starting school and going through school, and would you say you had an overall positive, neutral, bad?
I'd say neutral. There
Okay.
definitely is more. It's more like who you're bringing in to teach, I guess you could say, because some people like to stay by the book, and I get that they want to prepare you so that like you're ready for the test. But at the
Gotcha.
same time, it's like some people haven't taken the test in so long that they don't know what it actually consists of. And I feel like that was like the hardest part was when we did like mock boards and all of that. It was like, okay, this isn't even like I did the actual thing. I was like, that's nothing like what it was. So I had to go back to the school just to be nice because I feel like that was the nice thing to do. And I was just like, just so you know, like that doesn't
Just
happen.
yeah, just so you know, they don't do that.
Yeah.
There was some inconsistencies when I took mine. So when I did the barber test, I'm pretty sure the people that give the test, they aren't barbers.
Nope.
Just didn't have anybody to do it, so they just have like stylists do it,
Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
which is kind of weird. But
Well, because then I feel like
yeah.
they're not looking for the right stuff either.
Well, at one point during my test, you were supposed to like hold your hands on the side of the head to like signify that you even the sideburns or whatever of the haircut. And so you're supposed to stand there with your fingers on the side of the head, like towards the ears, and wait until somebody makes eye contact with you before you move on. Like they nod, and then
Oh my
that's
god.
supposed to tell you to move on. And I just was standing there for like, it felt like forever. It was probably like a minute, but it felt like
Yeah.
an hour. And I'm just standing there like, do I cough? Do I like
Did
clap?
you did
I'm
you
not
have
supposed
like a
to
lot
talk.
of people in your like in the room?
No, it was fairly small, which was weird too, because that's when COVID was going on. And they had people where would keep moving their test dates around because they were like, we have too many people. And then when I went, they said there was a possibility that they might move some stuff around. But when I went, I think there was maybe like 6 or 8 people. That was it.
Yes, I had 30 people
Yeah, that's wild.
from
That's
multiple different schools. and we're all standing there like trying to make eye contact with people.
Yeah,
And it was so hard because I was like, did they see me? Did they not see me? Because obviously I like looked around and then like I didn't see anyone.
exactly. So, all right. So you go through school, you have a neutral, a neutral experience. Not good, not bad. It just sort of is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And then what do? You finish school, you got your license.
So while I was like in school and out of school, I was kind of like receptionist, assistant, because I feel like it's always good to like, I never thought about shadowing. I probably should have, but it was always good to kind of just see how stylists are treated before you are the stylist.
Sure. Yeah,
So I
definitely.
loved seeing all of that, but it was kind of like I knew I wasn't going to want to be a stylist because I was looking like that into it.
Gotcha.
So I kind of left and then I didn't really have a job for a little bit because I was like I want to find my spot.
Gotcha.
And since I had assisted and did a reception, I ended up going to my first salon and he was just opening, so I was kind of like I'm throwing myself in there. And basically I was like I don't want to be an assistant, I want to be on the floor. And he based it off of like my social media. And he was like, you know what? It looks like you can do it. So it ended up working out in that way because I didn't want to assist anymore because I feel like I need my hands on hair like at all times.
Yeah, it's we were just talking to somebody recently who they've assisted for like years. And I'm like, how you're gonna kind of lose your skills if you don't use them, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. There was a girl at the class that we just had with Lauren, and she
Yep.
was assisting for like 3 years.
Yep. I know every place is different, completely different. So, I mean, whatever works for you. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not hating on it. I do think so. I will say something because I saw it happen at Jen's last salon. People do get taken advantage of, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So, if you're listening out there and you want a shadow, come hang with us. We always open it up. If people reach out, I'm like, hey, we're not hiring right now, but you can come hang out.
That's how Sarah started. She
Yep.
shadowed and she immediately like loved us.
Yeah. So, funny story. I might as well just tell the story. I don't even think I've told her. Do you know the story?
I don't know.
So she reached out and I was like, hey, we're not hiring, but we like to meet everyone and hang out and just form a relationship because you never know what's going to happen in the future. So, like, in 2 months, somebody moves or whatever, circumstances change, somebody moves on, anything could happen. So, by having these relationships, you already sort of know the people a little bit. You've at least met them. So, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
that person would be a good fit because they're at least cool, whatever. So, she shadowed. And then she left and she was like, I'm shadowing a bunch of places. And I was like, that's great. I think that's smart. Go check some stuff
Yeah.
out and see what you like and see where you're going to fit and find. I mean, Jen will tell you it doesn't really matter if you move around, but it's nice to not have to do that
Oh, for sure.
if it's a possibility. Well, a few weeks later, she emailed and was like, hey, I made my decision. I really want to be at Hello. And I was like, oh, shit. She missed the whole part where I was like, we aren't hiring. Oh, but we had already met her and everyone really liked her. So I was like, Jen, how do we make this happen? And she was like, all right, let me take a look at the schedule. And she like made some shifts and moved it around. And I don't even think I ever told her that.
That's crazy.
We weren't looking to hire, but she just was like a good fit. So we were like, all right, let's make
Yeah,
space for
no,
her.
she's like super bubbly. And I remember she came up and she's like thanks for posting your TikTok because that's how I found this place. And I was like, oh, like I never thought of like another stylist like looking for a job seeing that. And
Yeah, that's
it
cool.
was like my first time posting like a consultation video. So it was more personal, I feel like.
Gotcha.
And so for the rest of the, like her first week, I was like, you were definitely fangirling when you saw me.
That's awesome. All right. So you're at that salon, you're working. What does that look like?
I was there. I couldn't leave early. It was like opening, so like probably 9 a.m. to 8, 10 to 8. And I just kept going. I had Thursdays off. And I definitely felt like I tired myself out because it was a lot of waiting. It was a lot of people running to the phones to get that walk in or phone call. And so then it started becoming competitive. And it was like one of those things where I
Okay.
was like, I don't like that. I get that it's a competitive industry, but at the same time, you want to have like that extra support there.
Yeah, and there needs to be like, so people will ask during shadowings a lot, or even if I'm just talking to them through email, they're like, how does it work when you're building? Like, what is the system for getting new clients? And I'm like, it's so that's one of the things we really don't have a system for. It's always at hello, just been like worked itself out. If somebody has nothing going on, we're going to try to go to them to
Mm-hmm.
get them something because you want to win. But it's really based on like who is the best fit for the client.
Exactly. And I feel like I feel like it is easy at hello because it's like, oh, someone says one word, it's like, oh, perfect. She's a perfect fit for you. You know what I mean? Like you
Right.
think of someone the second you answer the phone. So I feel like that wasn't happening. And so I feel like I got like 6 months in and I was like, I need to go somewhere. Like I just felt like I wasn't getting anything. But then it took me a whole year after those 6 months to get out because I've
So
never
you
done that before.
so you were just kind of lingering on, should I go? Should I wait it out?
Yeah. And it was
And then
definitely a back and forth with that.
a year passed
A
and you
year
were like, okay.
passed. Yeah.
Was there, you don't have to be like super specific, but was there something that happened that like you were like, that's it? Or were you just like, I'm over it.
It
Let's
was
find something.
definitely, it was one of those situations where it was like, she said, he said, and all of this, but
Yeah.
it was like, it was more like attacking the person. And I was like, okay, like, talk to me or talk to like each other rather than making this whole thing blow up. And it wasn't even like, they weren't like, oh, like, I want to let you go. It was just like, we know you can go far. But there's so much competition in there that it was so hard. And they understood that. But you have the owner and the manager. And the owner is like that, I want to give the good news. And the manager was doing all the bad news. So it felt very like two-sided. Because after that meeting, the owner was like, "Oh, like you're awesome. I love you. Like let's do this. Like I can't wait for the future." But I'm like, "We just walked out of the room with a bunch of drama."
Yeah.
So it was like very two-sided.
So salon cattiness.
Yeah. And like who's above who's been there the longest. And there was like a level system that was coming into play.
Yeah. Weird. To me, at least, weird.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, though, you do what you want to do in your salon. But
True. I feel like I
so,
just don't like that. I don't know what it was even called, but it was some system where you hire someone to level up your stylists.
oh, gotcha. Okay.
But that made it more competitive, you know?
Right. Right. Interesting. So then you found hello?
I ended up, so Chloe, I went to
Yep.
hair school with her.
Okay.
She worked there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my hair done by her. Ended up going there all the time to get my hair done. And obviously, when you're in the chair, you're venting and you're letting all the emotions out. And Jen was there a few times. So, of course, I'm venting to Jen. And next thing you know, she was like, oh, like, I won't say it, but you know what I'm thinking. And I was like, okay. And I kept going, you know, just got to know everybody. And even like my first time there, I had everyone talking to me. So it was like awesome. And then literally January 1st came around. I went right into the salon and I told them, I was like, I don't want to talk about it, but this is like my notice. Like, I'm done. And then I texted Jen my resume that day. Yeah.
Very cool. So where do we want to go next? So you that was your first salon, right? That you were
Yeah.
behind the
Behind
chair
the,
at.
yeah.
Okay. And you've been with us for a year and a half
It feels
or a
like so
year.
much longer.
Yeah, I remember when you were coming in for your hair. Yeah, that's probably why it feels longer because you were
Yeah,
already were like we knew you. Everyone knew you.
exactly.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about what that transition was like. So you leave because I guarantee you there's a lot of people listening that are like, I want to leave where I'm at, but I don't know. It's hard because you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And you can tell that part of your story, but it's still going to be different for somebody else to go through. But what was it like for you? You're leaving somewhere, which is probably a relief, but also like it's a kind of a pain in the ass. It gets
Yeah.
annoying. People in the industry gossip and all, like you hear all sorts of stuff. And not everybody's like me that can just be like, I don't care. So what was that process like for
I
you?
feel like it's one of those things where like you can't think about it because I'm like an anxiety person. I have major anxiety. And if I think too much about it, like I spiral. And I'm like, okay, this could go bad. I think about the what ifs and like that's awful. The what ifs are always bad.
None of those
So
are ever going to happen ever.
so I feel like it was I texted on the 2nd and then I went in on the 8th and we talked.
Mhm.
And I feel like if I hadn't come in and got my hair done or a blow dry, whatever, I wouldn't know what that was like. So it definitely would have been more scary if I were to just go in there and not know anything. And I stalked the Hello Hairco Instagram, Facebook, reviews, everything.
Cool.
And
Okay.
I feel like I wouldn't have known unless I was actually in there. Like a lot of salons post things just to post things and make it seem luxurious. But I feel like with Hello, it's like we're posting actual realistic stuff.
Yeah, this is what we do. We always tell
Yeah,
people that like we live by our core values and this is what we do. We do hair and we have fun. I mean,
exactly. Exactly.
what it boils down to. So,
But I'm definitely big on the stalking part. Like I scrolled all the way through Jen's stuff just to see like the personality in everyone.
yeah, that's not really stalking. That's kind of being smart. Like I recommend people do that all the time. Like go in if a place doesn't offer you to shadow or even hang out, which places should just do that.
Oh yeah.
Because that's how you get a feel for like what are these people really about. I always tell people, tell me something like in an interview, tell me something about yourself that's either fun or exciting that doesn't have anything to do with hair because I don't care about hair.
Yeah.
Really, what I'm trying to figure out is like, could I sit down and have like a beer with this person or a cup of coffee? Like, do I even want to be around this
Yeah.
person? You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to first. And then it's like, do we align? Does this person want similar things that we want or what we're trying to do?
Yeah. It's like the energy. The energy is just different when you walk in. Because like
All right.
everyone, like even when I am doing hair, like today we had two clients talking to each other across the stations. Like it's just different energy because it's not just about you and the client, it's about everyone in the room. And
The
everyone's in
collaboration.
yeah, everyone's in the discussion. Like it's awesome.
So let's talk about you behind the chair. What's your favorite type of client to work with?
As in like service or
Sure.
like
Wherever you want to go with it.
hmm. I feel
Sure.
like lately I've been loving like the moms that need a break
Okay.
because I have a few clients they come in like not that often, but like you can tell because they'll book an appointment, cancel it, and then book another one because they're like, I need to get in.
Yeah.
And I feel like right when they sit down, it's like you feel, even I feel it, like they just like the relief. Like they're happy to finally be there, like kid free. And it's just a different energy.
Just a few minutes for them to chill.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
cool.
And like I feel like they still, like they talk about their kids, obviously. And like I feel like I am part of that because they're like, oh, like you're gonna cut her hair when she's older, you're gonna do this. Like
That's
it's
cool.
cool because I'm like, okay, like I'm important in that way. And then high schoolers.
Yeah.
I get like a lot most of my clientele is like teenagers.
Yeah. You have a huge younger
Yeah.
clientele for sure.
And I love it because it's like I not that I'm in high school again, but like I get all the best friend talk and like I get extra best friends in there and then I get another text here and there that are like, "Oh, like can we do this together?" And I'm like, "Okay, like you guys can come in like staggered." Like
Yeah.
it's exciting because it's like a hangout for them because
Yeah. Definitely.
they love like venting and stuff and I'm just like, "You go, girl."
Do you have maybe like a funny story or something memorable about a client?
Probably my most I had a mom come in and I've had her for like probably since I started. sometime in January. And
Okay.
she like sat down immediately. We've talked about like her kid, and immediately she sat down and she was like, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh my God. Because she, like, I was one of the first people she told. And I was like, okay. And like, it was so exciting to like be a part of that moment. And
That's
obviously,
cool.
like, she's telling me like how she thinks her daughter's going to be a great sister. And I'm like, obviously, like, and it's so, she like, I feel like she's so hard on herself because sometimes she's like, it's so much. And I'm like, but behind the scenes, like, I see everything she says, and it's like, she's an awesome mom and like an awesome person. Because I was like, the whole reason you book your appointment, cancel, and then book another one is because you have kids and you're putting them first all the time.
Right.
And I feel like now I get to like be a part of that next journey with her, which was awesome. And I feel like even when she sat in my chair the first time, it was like full on venting to me like her whole life story. And
Just
I feel
open it
like,
right up.
yeah, I feel like it was just like that bond. Like, because like when she moved into an apartment, I moved into an apartment, and it's like we were just talking about like all the hassle. And I feel like at this point it's like I'm a part of her story in some sort of way. So it's like cool.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. So you mentioned consultations, and I know at Hello we're big on consultation. I forget what week it was, but Jen and I were just talking about this, and because we've had clients that come in and they'll tell you like, I don't feel like I've ever even had a consultation before.
Mm-hmm.
So what does a consultation look like for you?
For starters, I'm getting better at them because Jen got me. I tend to rush through things, so Jen got me a little fidget toy that I put on on my station to like remind me to like, okay, let's stop and talk before,
Breath.
because my
Yeah.
head starts going and like I get all these ideas and I'm like, okay, stop, like we gotta listen to what
Let's
we're talking about.
finish to find out what they want before I do what I want.
Exactly. I definitely feel like I first start like just catching up or just talking about their day, all of that, because someone could come in and be super upset. Obviously, I don't want them to be upset while I'm talking about what they want to do, because that usually involves like box dye, maybe, who knows, like just some crazy thing. And basically, what they want, their lifestyle, day to day, how often they actually want to come in.
Those are all great things.
Yeah.
Lifestyle thing is so important too. I feel like a lot of people miss that, but it's important to know what the person's day to day looks like a little bit. I don't need to know exacts, but so that I can give you something that's gonna fit that
Yeah.
for you.
Especially
You
like if
know?
you're going to have your hair up every day, you're not going to want short bangs. Like, and I feel like it's hard to explain to some people because they are like, no, I want this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but you're going to have to like bobby pin it. You're going to have to style it to get it out of your face.
You want it right now. You don't want it
Yeah.
tomorrow morning when you go on
Yeah.
a jog or something like that.
Exactly.
That's a big one. I always get into product too because with guys, it's like they're like sometimes I use products, sometimes I don't, and well, why? Why do you use it sometimes and not other
Yeah.
times? It's it could be that they use it for like going to work or the office or whatever, but they're not using it on their like off time, and that makes sense. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's just they don't even know what to use. Like I've had that where
Yeah.
guys
For
are like, yeah,
sure.
I just use gel or whatever, and I'm like, gel. We can do better than that. Let's talk a little bit about Hello. So, what is it like working at Hello?
Definitely a lot of collaboration.
Okay,
We
in the
push
name,
each other a lot. We push each other a
we
lot to
do push each
do
other a lot.
better. And I feel like, again, my anxiety is awful. So it's like having everyone around me, even Madison, the apprentice, she's even sitting there like, no, you can do this. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I just got to stop thinking about it and just kind of go with it because I have so many people around me that, like, every client in our chair is totally fine with me going to grab someone if I need the help. Which I feel like Hello is the only spot that I've ever actually felt comfortable enough to be like, hold on, I'm going to go grab someone.
Yeah, that's how we built that in for, and that's why we built that in too for that
Yeah.
reason right there. I never really got like when I saw a post the other day actually that talked about this, and it was like we have code words at our salon. So like if you need help, you'll ask someone like, "Hey, have you seen my blue comb or whatever?" And they're like, "I know that person needs help." And I'm like, "That's so weird. Why why are we trying to hide the fact that we're not perfect?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody should know we're not perfect. So sometimes I've even had clients come in and I'm like, I know how to do this haircut, but something feels off. Like maybe you're just having an off day or whatever, or maybe you're getting over like a sickness or whatever. And I'll even call Jen and call Jen over or even whoever. And I'm like, this is how I would do this, right? And they're like, yep, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking because you know when you look at a word sometimes and you're like, that's really how that's spelled? Like it doesn't
Yep.
make sense. It's like that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I know how to do this, but my brain is just not working or whatever. So
Yeah.
even collaboration like that, it's not sometimes it's just you need that cosign. It's like you know how to do it, especially for formulating. I know I don't formulate,
Yep.
I don't do color, but I get it. There's so many different options and ways that you can
Mm-hmm.
tackle something. And it's nice to know that you got it and just have people around you that are like, you got this, just do it. And if something gets screwed up, you got it. You got a bunch of people that are
Yeah.
going to help you fix it. So it's really not that big of a
Yeah.
deal.
No, I
So
definitely, even like with formulations, like sometimes if I grab Jen, it's like, of course, like Jen, the boss, like she asks you a question, you say the wrong answer, but you know the right answer.
yeah.
Like I remember one time she asked me something about the color wheel and I completely said the wrong thing. And I was like, you know
Uh,
what? I was like, I think it's because it's you, Jen. So I'm just going to ask someone else. And like it
yeah.
was just like that anxiety of like just asking. And that was like towards the beginning of when I was like, I feel weird asking for help. But now it is like, I explained to my client, I'm like, so I'm just going to ask a few questions. Like, if it's bangs, I'm going to grab Gab and be like, she's going to kind of walk me through a few different things or like a new technique that I don't know. Because I feel like a lot of us have different techniques and we all have like our own way of doing things.
Yeah, for sure.
And clients
How,
are usually understanding for the most part.
yeah, there's only been a handful of times where people weren't happy and they'll like leave a review that's like the
Yeah.
person asked a question. And it's like, okay, whatever, Karen. So how would you sum up or how would you describe our like culture or vibe at Hello?
I feel like we all have a different vibe. It's hard to like put like a word to it, I feel like.
All right, that's cool. That's an
Because
answer right
yeah, because we all have a different vibe, but like all the vibes fit together so nicely.
Yeah, it is cool, right?
Yeah.
Like I actually enjoy going there and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter like who's on. It's not like, oh, this person's working today, that person annoys
Exactly.
me. It's like I like every single person that we work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Jen and I built out Hello, it was really important for us to tell people like we have a few rules that we're like hard on because that's just the way you have to be with a business, right?
Hmm.
But we really want people to express themselves and still be individuals. Why our dress code is how it is. Our dress code is like dress professional. Yeah, cover yourself up.
Hmm.
Stuff like that, like basics. We don't do the all black. Jen wanted to do all black when we first started, but I was gonna quit. I was like, I'm not wearing all black every day. There's just there's just no like Jen can do that and Jen can pull that off because that's kind of her vibe. That's
That
kind
is
of
her.
her
Yeah.
style. But not everyone's gonna show. It reminded me of like bartending or working in
Hmm.
restaurants where I'm like, they don't want anyone to have like an identity. They want the place to be the identity.
Yes. See,
I,
but for Jen, it's like she has the lipstick. If she's working, she has the lipstick.
yeah, the lipstick's always on.
So
So
that's like a pop. So I feel like we all do need like our own pop of
yeah,
what.
everyone's got
Yeah.
their own little je ne sais quoi. So what have you been working on as far as education and personal growth or I guess it would be professional growth? What have you been working on most recently?
Updos a lot more, but
Okay. I
not.
knew that actually because Jen
Yeah.
was talking to me about that the other day.
I'm definitely struggling with them. I'm not so like I'm good with more like I can see what's going on. So when I put a bobby pin in someone's hair, I'm like I have no clue where I just put that. So we're working on that so that I can actually do something with
That's
that.
cool. What sort of things have you struggled with or what challenges have you had over the past like year and a half?
Probably like getting people to rebook while you're in the salon still. And we've
Okay.
talked about it before, and like once their hair is done, they've checked out. They're completely checked out. Like they don't even want
Oh
to
yeah.
talk about hair.
No, they're done.
So it's been getting better. Even if it's like a message on Instagram like a week later that's like, "Oh, like I hope you like your hair. When do you want to come back in like let's keep up with it kind of thing." And so even if I
I
do
think that's
forget.
I think that's underrated. I don't know. So people have no problem reaching out to clients when they want to like fill their books.
Mhm.
But if you look at it in the opposite, like obviously you're trying to develop a relationship with these people so that they become loyal lifetime clients. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
But what about the follow up? I love the follow up.
Yeah.
To text someone like I've had there's been a couple times where we've made like a quick video of how to do something. Like we had a kid that wanted, he was young, like high school, and he wanted the front of his hair to like kind of flip
Mhm.
it up. So Jen sent him with some rollers and whatever, and then we made a quick video, and then we were able to text that video to him just to say like, hey, I know that you wanted to do this with your hair. It's probably going to be tricky when you try to do it by yourself. Here's some things to think about.
Yeah.
And that's just a great way to let people know that it's not just transactional. Like it's, you actually care. You want them to be happy, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
What are, what are your goals for, what do you want to work on next over the next year, over the next months, summer, whatever?
I've definitely, because I'm kind of going, I go to the high school to talk and teach cosmetology. And so I think I like doing that more, like more often. I used to only go like once a year. Like
Okay.
I did it like right when I started hair. And then I was like, you know what? I like that energy too because they're
That's cool.
so curious. And so I definitely want to go more into teaching them and like more hands on with them. And like
How often do you
they
do it?
actually I go once a month, but they actually a lot of them come to the salon
That's
now
cool.
so they can actually see what I am talking about like there and they
In
ask
practice. Yeah.
questions and yeah. So that's cool and I definitely want to go more often or just get involved with them more often. So,
Cool. Cool. What, I have some rapid fire questions we're going to run through, but what else do you want to talk about? Anything?
I don't know. I feel
All
like
right.
our thing is social media, but like I feel like that's what we always talk about.
Yeah. We
Like
can talk about social media.
yeah.
What do
I
you
don't
want to
know.
talk about? I've been slacking with social media lately because it's been,
Really?
yeah, I've been horrible, if we're being honest. I have a bunch of lists. I have a bunch of stuff that I created to help me get back on track. And I'm like, I don't know. So personally, this last month, maybe not month, but it feels like it's just been gray here.
Yeah.
And I don't usually get like seasonal depression or anything like that. And I told Jen the other day, I'm like, I don't know if I need like a vacation somewhere. Like, I don't know. But I feel like just tired, extra like tired when I shouldn't be. Like you
Yeah.
go to bed early, you wake up early, but you're tired. And it's like, why am I tired? Like something's just off. And so I've been trying to be more active, like physically. Like I went out this morning and took a walk. And I was like, this will help just get me like moving and make my body feel better so that I'm like, all right, I can deal with social media. Cause I'll go on there with the intent, right? That I'm like, all right, I'm going to do some posts. So I'll go on there and like all the stuff that people commented from last time and then whatever. And then I just find myself just scrolling, doom scrolling. And I'm like, what am I doing? I just wasted 45 minutes doing nothing.
I do see that sometimes. Like you like it's not even like a spam, it's just like, oh, Hello Hairco liked this. And then you wait a little bit, it's like Hello Hairco liked this.
Yeah, because I'll go through and I haven't been on there for like 2 or 3 days. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I was tagged in that I need to like and share and get in the stories or whatever. But I've got to get back to a more consistent, I guess, posting schedule. Because even with Hello Hair Pro, I completely fell off with that because
I did
it,
yep.
it wasn't, excuse me, it wasn't anything, like nothing happened. I just was looking at the posts and I'm like, I post these posts. It's me and Jen talking or a clip. And And I'm like, it doesn't really get a lot of engagement. So why do I continue to do the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again? That's what I would tell somebody that was like, hey, help me with this. But for
Yeah.
some reason, I'm doing it myself. And I'm like, I need to pause on this and think about like what I want it to look like.
I feel like that's because I don't think I've posted for like, I don't even know, maybe like a few weeks.
Yeah.
But
That's
it
a long
was
time
like,
for you.
yeah. And like for me, it was like, I see all these videos, all these posts and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to be like them, but I want to share like the realistic side of me. Like, I want to give like a day in the life and I want to talk to the camera, but it's like one of those things of like listening to myself back that I hate.
Yeah. So I do too, but you got to get over it.
And that's what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what,
Yeah.
maybe I should literally just sit down and like post something on my story that's like, okay, so this is my first time doing this because I do want to be like realistic about it. And
Yeah.
like
Sure.
I tried doing it and then I was like, no, I can't.
Maybe we need to have another meeting and go over some social media and
Yeah.
get like reinvigorated. We met with our staff a couple times for people listening, and it's pretty cool. Like everyone gets invigorated, and you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a social media. It'll be fun, and we'll all tag and collab with each other and whatever." And then a couple days goes by, and you're like, "I don't have time for you
Yeah.
anymore."
That's literally how it goes. And then like a month later they come back up and they're like, "So can you help me with this?"
Yeah,
Which I
we
love
need
like too.
we need Sarah. We need her energy. I feel
Yes.
like she posts constantly,
She loves posting. She loves
and
posting.
she'll put up stuff like what Jen talks about. Like if you don't know what to post, just post yourself doing whatever. Post yourself
Yeah.
setting up, post yourself getting ready for work, post your outfit, whatever. And Sarah's always on there crushing that stuff.
Yes. But
Constant.
her thing, she thinks so hard, like behind the scenes.
Oh, I
Like
bet.
she'll be sitting at the round table and she's like, "Can you watch this?" And then she's like, what words do I put on it? What do I do with this? What hashtags do I do?" And I'm like, "Don't think about it." Don't think. And she'll sit there and like change it like 20 times. And when I asked her like how long does it take you to edit, it's like 2 hours because she's constantly going back and I'm like, don't like
Oh,
doubt
captions.
yourself. I'm
Yeah,
like, don't doubt yourself. Just post what you think is good.
that's wild. Okay. Do you want to get into these rapid fire questions?
I'm ready.
I think it's fun. All right. Hair dry or air dry?
Hair dry.
Classic or trendy?
Trendy.
I knew you were going there. Blondes or brunettes?
Oh, that's hard. For me, brunette, but everyone else blonde.
That's all right. Straight or curly?
Curly.
All right. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Both.
Both.
Literally
Okay.
both. I will be up
There's
until
where there's where some of your anxiety is coming from.
I'll be up until like 11, 12, and then I automatically wake up at 6 every day.
What, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Text or phone call?
Depends on the person.
Okay. That's a good one. What is your go-to coffee order?
I don't even know. I feel like I
All
switch
right.
it up all the time. Either
Switch
that
it
or
up.
I go with a Aroma's Rush,
I don't even know what that
which I
means.
think those are worse. I think it's worse for you than coffee is. It's like a Red Bull, but
Oh,
a
yeah.
24 ounce with syrups in it.
Probably. What's a hair trend you wish would disappear forever?
Probably the skullet.
Okay.
I'm saying that, but my boyfriend had a skullet, but I mean like a full on skull.
If you could pick one dream celebrity client of all time, could be somebody that's not alive, could be someone from history, could be Lil Wayne, whatever. Who would you pick?
Right now, Teddy swims, but I would need help doing his beard because he's bald.
I'll help you with the beard. What's your favorite hair tool that you can't live without?
Probably the extra long foiling combs. For
Okay.
some reason, I can't foil with like a regular foiling comb.
Music or podcasts?
Recently, podcasts.
All right. What's a good one? What do you got for
I
people
forget. I
listening?
don't even know what it's called, but it's something with like anxiety and like getting out of your head.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm on
Send
like
that
my
to me.
self healing journey right now.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Now I'm gonna go read books about self healing and stuff. I'm always looking for suggestions
yeah.
for stuff. What's the funniest thing a client's ever said to you?
Oh, this is a good one. That when she dies, I have to make sure that I put I don't even know how to pronounce it. Oz? I said it.
Yeah.
I have to make sure I put the Oz texture spray in her casket and
Okay.
fix her.
Her family's going to be like,
She says it
why?
every appointment.
Jeez. All right. If you weren't doing hair, what do you think you'd be doing?
My mom was just telling me that I should be a writer, so I'd probably be writing something.
All right. We have a lot in common. Where are we? We got a few more left. Do you have a guilty pleasure, like TV show?
One Tree Hill.
Okay. What's one product that you would take with you to a desert island?
One product I would take with me. Probably the Soothe Serum from Oz. That's like my favorite lately.
Where are we? What's the weirdest request you've ever gotten from a client?
You ask me things I've never thought about.
That's the point.
I'm like, oh, wait.
Starts out with coffee and tea, and then it gets weird. Weirdest request. Maybe you haven't had anything too crazy.
I don't know. I mean, like some people want like weird shaped haircuts. I mean, I have a kid that every time I do his haircut, he has to put his hat on to check it. That's different.
Yeah, I have those. I have some of those. Couple more. What's your favorite day of the week to work and why?
Wednesdays. Because I mean, I'm not picking favorites for clients, but like I always end my Wednesday night with like my favorite clients.
Oh, okay, that's
like
cool.
the clients that just kind of chill, and it's like we're both chilling because we both are almost done, or they just got out of work and I'm almost done work.
Mm-hmm. Who's the most organized person on our team?
Most organized. Oh, Jamie.
I was going to say, if you don't pick Jamie.
For sure.
What is Brooke's favorite way to spend a day off?
Coloring lately. And then cuddling with my dog Carlos. And recently I've been going to the gym with Lauren.
Nice. Those are great things. All right, last question. One word to describe the salon vibe at Hello.
Vibe again. Different.
Take it.
Unique. That's a good one.
Yeah, unique works.
Yeah, we're unique.
All right, Brooke, tell people, I think we're at like 45 minutes. Dang.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great. This was fun. We will definitely have you back on. So I think I told you that we were going to start recording with you guys.
Yep.
I'd like to cycle through and get everybody on here. I'd love to do it. We can definitely do more of these when Jen travels and stuff, but I'd love to do it with Jen too, because I feel like it just adds that dynamic.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just listening to like literally last podcast. You were like, Jen will be back next week, I promise. And I was like, surprise. Yeah. I was like, surprise, it's me.
Where can people find you on social webs?
Your hair bestie, Brooke.
There you go. We'll put it in the show notes too, so people go follow Brooke. And you have anything else?
No, this was fun. I would do it again.
We'll definitely do it again. We'll do it again soon, probably next week. No, I'm just kidding. All right, cool. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. That was Brooke, and she'll be back.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Brooke. Bye, everyone.